What's up YouTube? Welcome to another video. In this one we're going to be talking about Arc 3.0 on the Warlock. The name's Frosty,
the Snowman.
And I'm going to go ahead and discuss every ability here, the changes that went through, and hopefully by the end you know what aspects, what fragments, and what abilities to be running on your Warlock to best use it inside a Crucible. So the first thing I want to look at is actually the supers. Chaos Reach is pretty much unchanged. This is what you can expect when you use it against a Titan bubble. So please go ahead and pop. You're going to pretty much waste your entire super, but you'll be able to pop the bubble and you do a little bit of damage to the Titan. So nothing much has changed there. I'm not sure if the cooldown changed from before, but it's at 916, the same as Storm Trance, which kind of sucks because I feel like both of them being the same, Storm Trance is actually the better option. So Storm Trance got some pretty good changes. It got the top and bottom subclasses combined. So now when you pop, you actually have a landfall effect and you have the little teleport effect as well on the Storm Trance. So the damage on landfall actually got nerfed, I believe, and you cannot pop a bubble like you used to before. So I'll go ahead and showcase that now. I'm going to hover over the Titan, pop the landfall, not going to do enough damage to pop it. And I'll try to do tickle fingers on the bubble. Tickle, 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 tickle. And even then, it's still not going to be enough to pop the bubble. Here, I'll even throw a couple shotgun shots at it too. Oh, wow. Anyways, so you get the idea, right? It got nerfed, but there's some ways to really take this to the next level with the super and really make it pretty good. So hopefully I can showcase that to you. I'll get back to the super here in a second. The one thing I want to talk about is the melee. Rift is pretty obvious. You go healing. Burst Cut is the best jump. But the melee here, combined with the aspect called Lightning Surge, you get to proc this blink that moves forward, and it's actually so sick, it hypes me up to use it. So I'll showcase that to you right now. I slide, I proc my melee, and I just blink forward. It's so cool. So while I get the cooldown back, let me put on the double melees just so I can have more of them to showcase. We'll go ahead and read the aspect. While sliding, activate your charge melee ability to blink forward, calling down lightning strikes that jolt targets as you materialize. So you could do this, you know, from high ground as long as you're sliding. And this actually has like aim assist, so it'll lock on to targets. So I'll go ahead and do it as Strasser right now. It'll take me directly at him and I'll do damage. As you can see, that's a lot of big boy damage. Can you hit one hand cannon shot and then clean them up with a melee? Let's try it. You pretty much almost can. So you get an idea of how much damage you do with this ability. It's pretty good so far, but it's tied to your strength cooldown. What other things can you do with this? So there's one movement tick that I like to think about here is you can slide forward, shoot, look backwards, and then do your melee ability. Sure, this is pretty much going to be exclusive to MNK because controller player probably can't flick that fast, but it kind of gives you an idea of the things that you can do. If you can't do a complete 180, you can at least look left or right side. Let me showcase to you. So you have enough time throughout that slide to proc your melee ability. It doesn't have to be immediately as you slide. It can be at any point as you're sliding. So at the beginning, instantly, right? Towards the end of the slide, you can still proc it. So I would recommend trying to get that timing down so that you can have that ability to change the direction of your melee teleport wherever you want, whether it be left, right, forward, or backwards. So one thing I like to do with Titan Shield Bash a lot is do the backwards shield bash so I can get away from targets. So I'll shoot, disengage a lot. That's a lot of distance you get away from a target. This is going to be really good for shotgun combos. Let's go ahead and take an example in a typical match. Let's say I'm going to engage a player. This is going to be a really nasty combo, by the way. Like, people will not know what to do about this. So I'll slide around, hit a hand cannon shot. Whoops, didn't proc my melee. Hand cannon shot. Oh, killed him. But you get the idea. You slide around the corner, you hit a hand cannon shot, or maybe a 120, maybe a sniper shot, and you immediately combo that with your sliding melee ability. You're going to clean them up and they won't know what to do. So we're going to have them standing in the middle. I'll showcase this ability because this is the way that I plan on using it, and I feel like it's going to have a lot of utility. And he's dead. So pretty fucking awesome, to be honest. I like that a lot. So I told you I was going to talk about the super, how to push it to the next level. So I'm going to showcase to you how you can combo this melee ability with the landfall to take it to a different level. Strasser here is going to pop a bubble and watch how I utilize this ability, okay? So with the sliding melee, you actually get to teleport inside the Titan bubble and immediately proc that landfall. Depending on the resilience, depending how close you are to the enemy Titan, you can one-shot them, but sometimes you will find inconsistencies where you cannot one-shot. So we'll try again. So I was closer to him that time, and it actually did one shot. One way to secure consistency here is to let the melee ability do its like lock-on ability towards the target, so that you can make sure you're right next to him instead of popping your super too early. So we'll showcase that again. It'll take a little bit of practice. I didn't have the cooldown ready, but you get the idea right there. So I'm pretty much going to be running this super, and that's how I plan to counter defensive supers like a bubble and the Will of Radiance. So let's keep reading what we have. Electrostatic Mind. This one states defeating targets with arc abilities or defeating jolted or blended targets creates an ionic trace. Collecting a trace makes you amplified. So this is the other pick that I like. If you're PvE, maybe low elo lobbies in Crucible, the Arc Souls might be pretty fun for you to use. But whenever you're using an Arc Soul against a player that can move a lot, I'll showcase that to you, that has movement, it kind of becomes a little bit weak. Like you don't really get to utilize your effects. So let's go ahead and showcase that now. So, you know, a player that will have some pretty decent movement, the Arc Souls won't be like super effective. Now you can combine this with certain things like a Lemon Arc, hit a bow shot, and then the Arc Souls can clean them. It can get nasty, but it just depends who you're playing up against, and sometimes the Arc Soul might actually not help you out as much as you would want it to. So that's why I like using the other one, Electrostatic Mind, because the Ionic Traces just kind of synergizes with the entire build of giving you more ability cooldowns, and it can even make you amplified whenever you collect one. So what does the amplified on the Warlock actually do? Much like the other two characters, you have the increased movement speed and weapon handling. You also get to sprint even faster once you have the amplified procced. Well, this is going to enhance your melee abilities. My go-to pick is going to be Ball of Lightning. I tested out the Chain Lightning. It's okay. You can use this one if you want to play close range, but this thing is crazy. The melee flies so far. I want to go ahead and showcase that to you how far it goes. So we're going to have the player standing towards that area. That's not amplified. And it snipes pretty far. Now, let's take a look at what happens when I have an amplified melee ability. Upon reading, it states, Ball of Lightning releases additional lightning strikes before detonating. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look. I'm going to pop an Arc Soul to get it amplified on command. Drop the Ball of Lightning. Oh, a little bit too far. I don't want the Arc Soul to hit him. Can you stand behind the pillar? There we go. That way the Arc Soul doesn't do it damage. So, goes out 71, 43, 43. And that's a lot of damage. What happens if I hit him with a hand cannon shot in the middle of that? So let's try that again. Arc Soul's about to run in 3 seconds. All right. So one hand cannon shot, sending the melee off. And it takes him out. Pretty strong melee. Actually worth using. I like that a lot. You can kill players behind cover, maybe Titan barricades or Titans that are sitting behind barricades, things of that nature. When it comes to the grenades, you have tons of options when it comes to a Warlock. A lot of them are fun. The top 3 picks are going to be Arc Bolt, Pulse Grenades, and Storm Grenades. My favorite one is Arc Bolt because it does a lot of damage, but a lot of people are going to love the Storm Grenade. The AoE, you know, the damage over time is going to be nasty, so you can't take advantage of that, all right? Especially because of one of the fragments that gives you Jolt on targets. Storm Grenade is really good for that. And that takes me to the next point, the fragments. Now, these are kind of focused on Crucible. Warlock actually can take advantage of a lot of these fragments for PvE, but I'm not going to mention them. Just keep in mind that some of these are replaceable with other stuff such as arc weapons that you can actually take advantage of a lot on a Warlock. And I didn't really find that to be a thing with the other two characters as much. So first off, we have Spark of Momentum. Sliding over ammo bricks reloads your equipped weapon and grants a small amount of melee energy. Being a big fan of the Ball of Lightning and the Lightning Surge aspect, I do want that melee back as quickly as possible. Next up, Spark of Shock. Your arc grenades jolt targets. You are going to lose 10 discipline, but we already stated how good it is to use an Arc Bolt, Pulse Grenade, Storm Grenade, especially on a Warlock. It has a lot of ability synergy with getting your abilities back faster. And this is not even considering using exotics. Next up, Spark of Focus. After sprinting for a short time, your class ability regeneration is increased. So this ties to your Rift pretty quickly, your recovery. You're going to have that Rift a lot. And one thing that I think about a lot is that I can use the Warlock Bond mods like Outreach, which means that I can get those abilities back quicker every time that I pop a Rift. And lastly, we have Spark of Recharge. While critically wounded, your melee and grenade energy regenerates more quickly. It's great if you're somebody that's going to get in a lot of gunfights. You're going to take damage all the time when it comes to PvP, which means you're going to have ability regeneration quite often inside of a regular match. Now, the Arc Soul we already showcased why I wasn't a big fan of it. While amplified, your Arc Soul supercharge will and gain increased rate of fire. Well, you can just use the Getaway Artist and get the Amplified Arc Soul right away. So that's pretty sick. And I believe that's pretty much it when it comes to the Stormcaller Warlock Arc 3.0. Pretty solid subclass. I love the melee ability. It's super sick.